Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, 7/26, Thursday, April 5th. I'm meeting Maynor in Japan today, and we're going to check out the Seiko Museum in Tokyo. Now, what watch to wear to the Seiko Museum? Sure, you could wear a Casio or a Rolex, but more appropriate would be a Seiko. So I've got my 3 Seiko right here. I'm going to choose. Got the Dauphine hands. You got the Seiko speed timer, and you got my original Seiko. And I think this one's going to be it. I've already actually set the time. And my daughter's up, so. Hey Sophie, how are you? All right, more later. All right, guys, catching the 8:51 train. Going to another stop, switching trains again, and I'll probably get there about 9:22. And it's about a 20-minute walk to the Seiko Museum, and I'm meeting Maynor there. So the question is, what will Maynor be wearing? Let's make predictions. Well, I know he's got a Seiko cocktail, and he's got a few other more heavy-hitting watches, but I'm going to say that he's going to go with that Seiko cocktail. We'll see, though. All right, guys, arrived. So behind me is the Seiko Museum. I already see cool watches, and Maynor is here. All right. Yeah, all right. So Maynor, a.k.a. Brandon, henceforth known as Brandon. And yes. What is Brandon wearing? That's the question.
That's the question. Well, since we're going to the Seiko Museum,
all right,
gotta wear the Seiko cocktail.
All right, so you got the Seiko cocktail.
The cocktail, the original one, not the Prasad bullshit.
Oh, that's the original. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't know the difference. You're gonna have to tell me the difference later. All right, guys. So we've got about 5 minutes before we can go into the museum, and so the difference between this watch and the Prasad. Let's figure that out. So what's the difference?
This one has the 6R series automatic movement, which has a longer power reserve, different mainspring, and I guess a different adjustment lever, and better accuracy according to Seiko.
So this is the one to get versus the Prasad. Can you still get these?
You can find them. I mean, they're discontinued now, and going for a premium. Now that they're discontinued, I got this one for about $250, but now they're going for about $400 to $500. So
okay, so it's basically
they've pretty much doubled so far.
So they basically changed the movement in the Prasad, and
Yep.
that's the only one you can get. Okay, so this has got a better movement.
Yep.
Interesting. All right. It's the gift shop. Alright guys, so the 3 in general types of movements. You can pause the video if you want to read, but you've got mechanical here. Right here you have quartz, and then over here you've got spring drive, and Brandon was saying that he feels spring drive is kind of the best of both worlds. You've got the movement of your wrist, sort of generates the power and runs it through the gear train, and then this sort of puts the brakes on a watch that's too fast, or I guess takes the brakes off a watch that's too slow, sort of regulates it. And so I suppose an argument could be made that it is the best of both worlds. And one other thing that he was saying was it's a very Seiko thing. I mean, no other company has the spring drive, and so that's the draw to him. I think still, I prefer something like a high beat. These are some old high beat Lord Marvel, 36,000 beats. What is that per hour, right? And I suppose that this price you're seeing, 12,500 yen, was what it ran for in 1967. Then the this one right here, 14,000 yen in 1967. Yeah, I think that's the way I would go. But I was telling Brandon that if you got a high beat and it was less accurate than, say, your Rolex, for instance, it would kind of defeat the purpose. Over here we've got some, this is like a tuning fork, Bulova, regulated by a tuning fork. And then this is, I guess, one of the first quartz. So check this out. So I'm sort of in the light. All right, there we go. Seiko Course, one of the first probably. And 1971, check out the price. 185,000 yen in 1971. It's pretty expensive. Even today it's pretty expensive. And then another quartz right here. This is, yeah, a little, kind of a 70s look right there. 1972, 90,000 yen. Again, pretty expensive even by today's standards, but in the 1970s, that's pretty pricey. But can you imagine the selling point, being able to you know, achieve the accuracy that a quartz can achieve, and being able to, you know, stick it in a drawer for a month and come back and it's still dead on, not having to worry about it. Just paying for the ease and convenience, which is something we all take for granted these days. All right, guys, so you're looking at the very first Seiko wristwatch, 1913, the Laurel.
Not only Seiko's first wristwatch, Japan's first wristwatch.
Japan's first wristwatch, yes. And this was worn by soldiers in World War I, apparently. And again, it very much looks like a small pocket watch with a wrist strap. And apparently Kentaro Hattori predicted that all pocket watches would eventually, everybody would change from pocket watches to wristwatches. And he was right about it. Now here are the first Seiko branded wristwatches. That one on the right, Seiko. And you guys can't really tell here, but probably about 25 millimeters. And I think these are men's watches. So they actually look like women's watches, but the women's watches are right here. These are the women's versions. But probably about 25 millimeters and very small, very small. All right, some more wristwatches. 1939, the one on the left, and 1940, the one on the right. And you can see these are watches with sub-dials for the seconds. And fast forward to 1950, and this is the first Seiko watch with center second hands. And actually the size of this probably looks to be a 34 millimeter watch. And this is sort of the point where the watches are getting big enough that I would consider wearing them. Okay, so this is the Seiko Marvel using the Diashock shock absorbent system. This is a high accuracy with original movement, 1956. If you jump over here, this is the world's first watch with movement thickness of less than 3 millimeters, and plus it's got the center second hand. It's a watch from 1960. Sold for 25,000 yen back in the day. That's $250 in today's money, but again, that was 1960, so gotta keep that into consideration. Yeah, this is cool. The first automatic, so the first domestic self-winding wristwatch, 17 jewels, 1956. It looks like it's got a power reserve up top. I suppose that's what that is. Boy, that'd be quite a watch to have in the day in 1956.
Cool watch now.
Yeah, that would be a cool watch now, absolutely. It's probably, I'm thinking these are about 36 or 37. That's what it looks like to me. First Japanese produced automatic right here is a shot of the movement, the rotor, balance spring, good stuff. Okay, so this is a model of the Seiko Magic lever, and so if you turn the rotor this way, you can see it goes this way, and if you turn it the opposite way, it continues on. So whether your wrist movements turn the rotor this way or this way, it's gonna wind the watch. All right, guys, got the Seiko 5 right here. And if there's ever any confusion about what the 5 stands for, it's written right here. So Seiko 5, a sports watch with 5 outstanding features. So the first is high efficiency self-winding caliber, thanks to the magic lever, which we just saw. Water resistant, day and date window at 3 o'clock position. A hidden crown, that's an interesting one. And a sporty design with a metal bracelet. So very often you'll hear people say the day is one, the date is one, the time is one, the water resistance is one, but those last two, yeah, are apparently part of the 5. And let's check out my recessed crown, my hidden crown. There it is. Looks pretty hidden to me. All right, so this is a Sportsmatic 5, 1963, and apparently when this was released, it sold more than all of the watches produced in Switzerland. So it was very... Automatic watches, okay. Thanks for the clarification. So an incredibly popular watch. Dauphine hands. And let's find the crown. Oh yeah, there it is. Hidden crown. Now that's a very hidden crown right there. That crown is more hidden than mine. All right, so this is Japan's first chronograph, the Crown Chronograph. And Brandon was pointing out, this is kind of like mine in the sense it doesn't have a totalizer. And if you jump over here, this is, you see the date, and this one does have a totalizer. And it looks like, if you look at the subdial, I'm assuming the black hand would keep track of minutes, and the thin hand at I guess 6 would be just the regular second hands. That's what I'm assuming. It's got a tachymeter, and yeah, so totalizer there. This is right up my alley. This is the Seiko World Time. It's from 1964. 17 jewels, and as you can see, it's got 4 hands, very GMT-esque. Yeah, that's beautiful. Retailed for 12,000 yen, which is about $120 back in 1964. So these are dive watches. I'm just going to go through them kind of quickly. 1965, this is from 1965, 13,000 yen. This is from 1967, 35,000 yen, back in the day. Right? This one's from 1968, retail price of 14,500 yen. This is, we're getting into something really serious. This is 1968, 300 millimeter diver.
30 millimeter.
What is that?
300 meters.
Oh, did I say 300 millimeter? Millimeter, yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it could do 300 millimeters. I'm pretty sure. 300 meters, 38,000 yen back in 1968. That's really expensive. Got another one. This is a 1975. No price on this one. Getting into Rolex money here, I think. This is 600 meter diver. Get a better shot of it. And this would have cost you in 1978, it would have been 2 at the time, 120,000 yen, which is about $1,200. And right here, this is a 1,000 meter diver. from 1986, 140,000 yen. So that would have been about $1,400.
First ceramic case. World's first diver with ceramic outer case.
There you go. And this is something a little bit more modern, 1990. It's 120,000 yen, so about $1,200. 200 meter water resistance. This is more, dive computer type stuff. And then the last one right here, this is from 2009, 300,000 yen, about $3,000. And this is 1,000 meter water resistant. So you probably find these on Rakuten. This is only about 9 years old. You guys got the Bell Matic, which is the world's first automatic alarm with a day and a date. So let's check that out. Bell Matics are really cool. Well, I've thought about getting a Bell Matic, but maybe in the future. The inside of the Bell Matic. And then over here you've got some speed timers and sports watches. Look at the bracelet on that. It's a pretty horrendous bracelet. But down here, this is what Brandon likes. Pretty cool, 70s sort of, what is that, a sunburst dial?
Yeah.
Wow, look at that bracelet. That bracelet is just, yeah, I can't deal with that, but...
You're so conservative, Austin.
I am. And then this kind of looks like mine, Actus. I don't know what the Actus business is, but here we go. This is a Pogue, as they're known, and 1969. Try to get that. 5 sports speed timer, the world's first automatic chronograph. And
so they claim.
Yeah, so they claim. So tell me what you said before.
Okay, so this watch right here has the 6139 caliber, and in the late 60s, there were 3 kind of major companies that were battling to make the first automatic chronograph. There was Zenith, Seiko, and then a group of like Hamilton, Buren, and Hoyer, I believe. And so they were all kind of battling to get the first automatic chronograph, and Zenith announced theirs first in 1969. That's why it's called the El Primero, which means the first. They announced theirs, but I think it was Seiko that was the first to actually get it to market. And this Pogue has that movement in it.
So they sort of undercut Zenith,
yeah,
or just like beat in the market only.
Yeah, they beat them to market. But the fundamental differences between this one and the El Primero is that this one is a modular chronograph, which sits on top of a base caliber, whereas the El Primero is an integrated chronograph. So even if the El Primero was not the first one to make it to market, it technically is still the first automatic integrated chronograph in the world.
So they just basically, for this one, they just popped a chronograph on top of the existing movement?
Yeah, they put a module
okay.
on top.
Does that really count, guys? What do you think? Do they deserve to have this placard here, the world's first automatic chronograph? I think Zenith might disagree, but still, it's a pretty damn cool watch, this Pogue. If you read this, Seiko does give props to a few companies there. So again, this is a Pogue worn by William Reed Pogue. It's not his watch, but he wore one to space, and apparently in 2008 he sold his for just under 6,000 USD. That was just in 2008. So I think that's pretty low. I mean, I would consider buying Colonel Pogue's watch for 6,000 USD. So Brandon was saying that given what the vintage market has done since then, that he estimates that it would probably sell for tens of thousands now. And I agree. I mean, 6,000 for his original Pogue. That's insanely low in my opinion. Wow, whoever has that watch got a great deal in my opinion. So we're skipping over a lot, but look at the thinness of this watch. I was almost sure it was a quartz, but it's actually a mechanical 22 jewel mechanical watch. Got sort of a modern looking watch, but it's from 1972. It's a really nice chronograph. You never see these watches on their original bracelets, so my theory is that the bracelets are kind of crappy. I don't know if you guys can see the, I guess this is a beveled crystal. Look at that. It's kind of cut in an angular way. Very interesting. I don't know how practical that is, but eye-catching, yes. It would have been 19,000 yen, 1973, and then yeah, this is a pricey watch right here. 1973, 36,000 yen. Well, you know, $360, but I guess back in the day that was kind of a lot. Never even heard of that. Banaku. Okay, I don't know what that is. I guess it's like a Seiko sort of sub-brand, perhaps. Yeah, another beveled crystal there. Yeah, I guess they're out of fashion. They're not doing that anymore. Alright, you guys are looking at the very first quartz watch, the world's first quartz watch. Came out in 1969, the Quartz Astron. Very interesting. So this is another watch that I'd go for. Well, I don't know if I'd go for it. Check out that price in 1973, 80,000 yen. That's about $800, but very cool watch. It's got a fourth hand that you could set to, I suppose, another time zone. So, yeah, obviously it doesn't have the 24-hour marking, but still pretty cool. Damn, that was an expensive watch. It says plus or minus 15 seconds a month, so it must be a quartz.
Yep, quartz.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting watch. A superior twin quartz, world's first twin quartz watch with an accuracy of plus or minus 5 seconds a year. Back in 1978, this would have cost you $2,300 or 23,000 yen. So, man, I guess when quartz was in its heyday, they were pretty expensive. You got this one. Well, this one wasn't too expensive. This is 2,600. Sorry, 26,000 yen, or about $260. But you go over here. This quartz watch is from 1973. That would be 220,000 yen, or $2,200. Called the Quartz Superior, the Quartz Superior, and 1 month plus or minus 2 seconds. Quite a interesting green color. All right, this is a cool watch, the Alpinist, 1992, cream dial, 25 jewel automatic movement.
Got a Cyclops on it too. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is very Rolex-esque. 35,000 yen, so about $350 back in 1992.
Kind of like what they sell for now.
Beautiful watch. Love the cream dial. Hey, there it is, guys. The 9F movement, 9F quartz movement, probably the best quartz movement in the world. Absolutely beautiful. I'm not a quartz guy, but when you're talking that quartz movement, I think I could make an exception. Okay, what we have here is the very first Grand Seiko, 1960. This is here the ideal watch. Very possibly. It's 1960. This would be a cool watch to have. No price that I can see. All right, guys, so there you have it, the Seiko Museum, and we showed you the highlights. There's a lot we skipped over, and what did you think? What did you think of the Seiko Museum?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. You know, they had a lot of like kind of benchmark watches for Seiko, a lot of like the first of this and the first of that, which I thought was really cool, and yeah, a lot of models that I've never seen before, because I'm not a huge Seiko fanboy, but it was really interesting.
Right on. I thought so too. So, well, if you come to Japan, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
So it's free, and free coffee, free green tea.
Yeah. What did we spend? We spent like 3.5 hours in there.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting.
All right.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.